नमस्कार। मेरा नाम जगत साई है। मैं वेस्ट गोदावरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट आंध्र प्रदेश से बिलोंग करता हूँ। इस बार सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जामिनेशन 2020 में आई सिक्योर्ड ऑल इंडिया रैंक 32। दिस वाज माय फिफ्थ अटेम्प्ट। मैंने आई कंप्लीटेड माय ग्रेजुएशन इन 2014 एंड आई वर्क फॉर एन ईयर। उसके बाद आई रिजाइन माय जॉब एंड स्टार्टेड प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर दिस एग्जामिनेशन। 2015 I started my preparation and then I gave my first attempt in 2016, in which I could not clear my preliminary stage itself. Then in my second attempt, I reached till interview and could not get through into the final list. And in my third attempt, I again could not clear my prelims. And in fourth, I again reached interview stage and could not get into the final list. And in this attempt, in my fifth attempt, I fortunately got into the list and secured a decent rank. So through Delhi Knowledge Track, I would like to share my experience of all these 6 years and my journey, the ups and downs, and what I learned over the years. So coming to the journey right from 2015, when I started my preparation, the entire thing that was filled up in my mind was that I had to clear anyhow in my first attempt. That's how every aspirant comes into the game. But there are few factors which we cannot control, and sometimes we also need some kind of situations and some help from others in terms of guidance, in terms of support the ecosystem. We may not get it every time, so it took some time for me to get into that group. During my first attempt, I prepared from Hyderabad. So the kind of exposure that I had gotten in terms of the competition of this examination was relatively small before I came to Delhi. So I underestimated the competition of civil services examination, and I had a wrong approach to the preliminary stage. I attempted only 73 questions and I got 112 in my preliminary examination, the cutoff being 116. So I couldn't get into the main stage. Then I shifted to Delhi. I prepared along with my friends in Delhi. I did not get any coaching in Delhi as such, but I took some guidance from mentors from various coaching institutes, which actually helped me to an extent. Learning from my first attempt, wherein I underestimated the competition, coming into Delhi and knowing people from across the country, that gave me exposure to the kind of competition that this examination is having. And then I did not take that lightly in main stage. So in my second attempt, when I cleared prelims, I was fortunate enough to clear mains in that attempt itself. However, there were few loopholes in my mains preparation also, especially in the general studies, wherein the whole score of mains brought me till interview stage, but it could not push me into the final list. And the interview score was also not that great. I got 154 in my first interview. So both mains and interview put together, I couldn't get into the list. So in my second attempt, after not getting into the list, I lost my confidence, and that actually reflected in my performance in my third attempt prelims. And as a result, I could not clear the prelims as well in my third attempt. So then I understood that it's more of confidence and psychology that plays an equal role with our knowledge base to clear this examination. The character is also checked along with our analytical and conceptual knowledge.
उप्स, इस रुकावट के लिए सॉरी, पर आपकी यूपीएससी की तैयारी में कोई बाधा ना आए, चाहे वो रिसोर्सेस की हो या सही गाइडेंस की। इसके लिए पिछले 5 साल से स्लीपी क्लासेस क्वालिटी कंटेंट प्रोवाइड कर रहा है अफोर्डेबल प्राइसेस पे। यूपीएससी कोचिंग में हमने एक भ्रम को तोड़ा है कि ओल्डेस्ट इज द बेस्ट या महंगा सबसे बेहतर है, और हमारी सैकड़ों सक्सेस स्टोरीज इस बात की गवाह हैं। तो आइए अपनी यूपीएससी की जर्नी शुरू कीजिए हमारे साथ। जुड़िए हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल पे और एनरोल कीजिए यूपीएससी 2022 और 23 के कोर्सेज के लिए हमारी ऐप पर। धन्यवाद।
So in coming to my fourth attempt, again I repeated few mistakes that I worked on my general studies papers, but the mistake that I have done in my fourth attempt was that I could not implement whatever I planned in the preparation in the actual exam scenario. So the same scores repeated in my fourth attempt, and interview also happened the same. Like I was focusing more on acquiring knowledge and trying to put forward that knowledge in front of the board. However, that is not what the board was looking for. They were looking for certain personality traits which we need to display there, so that they believe that we are going to be a officer like personality. So after fourth attempt, I realized that all I need to work is on some minor things, but which makes a huge difference in my overall score. Fortunately, I also happen to have my own younger sibling, my younger brother, along with me during my preparation in my fourth and fifth attempt. So that also helped me. So in my fourth attempt, in my fifth attempt, I started taking every paper, every small topic in the every paper, every general studies and optional paper very seriously. Worked along with my brother. So we devised strategies specific to each paper, and then we tried implementing them in the mock tests. Fortunately, with the grace of God, we both got through the main stage, and then also we worked together for interview stage as well. Uh, thanks to the time, the extra time that we got after mains in the fifth attempt in CSE 2020 because of COVID second wave. So I got a time to work on my personality traits as well. Like whatever I was trying to do before, I did not do it now. I was not focusing on acquiring knowledge, rather how to put forward the best of my personality traits in front of the board. That's what I focused on. It took certain time to understand my loopholes in my personality and then work on them. Finally, it paid off. I got decent score this time in interview again. I got 200. So finally, the marks in mains and interview, the increase, they were around 80 marks increase from my fourth attempt, and that actually pushed me into the good rank, into 32nd rank. So the few lessons that I learned in my journey were that we need to be aware of our own selves, what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are. And there are certain times when I felt like I may not clear this exam. There is an uncertainty factor involved in this examination. So when we think about these things, those self-doubts come, they start popping up, and then we start losing our confidence. And because of that, I lost 1 year of my time in the entire preparation. My third attempt just went like that because I was underconfident. I lost my confidence after my second attempt. That shouldn't be done. Fighting back is very important in this examination. Failures are very common. Success is very rare in this examination. So we need to be aware of this fact. And even after giving best of our performances, sometimes we may not get the desired results. So understanding why we got into this examination, why we want to get into service, what is the core motive, and then having good friend circle is also very important. That constantly motivates us. Of course, the value of family in our life, including this preparation, is also very important. My family has been very supportive, and the 100% credit goes to them. And other than this, we need to have self-confidence as well. Once we start our preparation, we need to believe in ourselves. If we don't believe in ourselves, then I don't think UPSC believes in us. Only when we can believe in ourselves, we can convince others to believe in us. And other than this, I think we need to work on our weak areas. One should have the ability to accept that everyone has some weaknesses, and the fighting spirit to work on those weaknesses. And sometimes we need to be smart enough to capitalize on our strengths as well. So putting all these things, I think one day, if you believe in God, definitely pray to God. The blessings would definitely come true one day. It's been a long journey for me. I used to cry between four walls whenever I failed in my whenever I couldn't get through in my earlier four attempts. There were days when I did not talk to anyone, sat silently in my room and blamed myself. But one thing was always constant, that I never doubted my own abilities. I always believed that I had the potential, but the only thing I was worried about is that I wasn't getting where I was lacking. So I always look for help, like if someone can point out where I can improve, how I can improve. So that used to be a very frustrating thing in my journey. Fortunately, I had some mentors. I used to go to them and ask them some inputs. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. So finally in this attempt all these things worked.
DKT UPSC CSE। अगर आप केवल सिविल सर्विस परीक्षा के प्रीलिम्स, मेंस और इंटरव्यू के वीडियो देखना चाहते हैं तो सब्सक्राइब करें DKT UPSC CSE चैनल। यहाँ आपको टॉपर्स के वीडियो रैंक के हिसाब से अरेंज मिलेंगे। चैनल के लिंक के लिए डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में जाएं।
Apart from this, in my own case, I should also give a huge credit to my younger brother. He supported me a lot, especially when I couldn't get through my third attempt and fourth attempt. He just came to Delhi. He stayed with me for so many days, for so many years, in fact. And when he started supporting me, he also started liking the process. He also got into the process. And this time he also got through. He got rank 170. He's in IPS now. So it also helped a lot, not just in terms of collecting material or devising strategies, but also psychologically. So other than that, my friends in Delhi, my childhood friends who were preparing along with me together, my parents never doubted me. They always said that you just be patient. You if not you definitely deserve a place in this civil services, so you will get one day. So they never said anything to look for a backup job or something. They always motivated me to stay in the game and focus on my examination. I think if someone is self-confident, if someone has the ability to accept their own mistakes and weaknesses and they can work on it, definitely one day they will sail through this examination. So this is what I want to say about my own journey in the past 6 years. और मैं इस 6 साल में कभी बैकअप प्लान के लिए आई नेवर थॉट देयर आर मेनी रीजंस बिहाइंड टेकिंग दिस कॉन्शियस डिसीजन. मेरे पहले अटेम्प्ट के बाद आई डिस्कस्ड विथ माय फैमिली एंड दे वर नॉट एट ऑल इंटरेस्टेड इन मी गोइंग इनटू जॉब एंड हैविंग सम बैकअप प्लान. तो उसके सेकंड अटेम्प्ट भी ऐसे ही हो गया कि विदाउट एनी बैकअप प्लान आई वाज फ्री माइंडेड टू गिव माय अनदर अटेम्प्ट. लेकिन जब सेकेंड अटेम्प्ट खत्म हुआ तब आई स्टार्टेड थिंकिंग कि एम आई बीइंग टू बर्डन ऑन माय फैमिली. तो मैं मेरे पापा जी को कॉल किया और मैंने बात किया दिल्ली से कि शुड आई गेट इनटू अ जॉब, एम आई बीइंग बर्डन. पापा जी ने एक ही बात कहा कि अब तक नो वन फ्रॉम आवर फैमिली वेंट stepped into the campus of UPSC and you are the first one. I'm proud of you as a son. Or even if you do not get into a job, I'm fine with it. I'm very happy. So you don't think about it. अब ये सोचो कि जितना जल्दी एग्जामिनेशन क्लियर करके सर्विस पे जा सकते हो उस पे फोकस करो और कभी ऐसे मत सोचो कि फैमिली पे बर्डन हो रहे हो ये सब. Even fortunately my father also works in government sector in Andhra Pradesh, तो financial constraints नहीं है. I was fortunate enough. तो कभी फैमिली से भी प्रेशर नहीं था कि जॉब करो, जॉब के साथ काम करो. So all this while because of this flexibility that I had, I never focused on my backup plan. लेकिन मैंने कई सारे एग्जाम्स भी दिया था कि लाइक फॉरेस्ट सर्विस एग्जामिनेशन, लाइक स्टेट सिविल सर्विसेज. लेकिन आई नेवर प्रिपेयर्ड होल हार्टेडली. जब भी मैं बुक्स उठाता था पढ़ने के लिए उन एग्जाम्स के लिए, आई वाज नेवर एबल टू फोकस 100%. बट व्हेनेवर आई प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर सिविल सर्विस एग्जामिनेशन आई यूज्ड टू गिव माय हार्ट आउट. सो पता नहीं अंदर से वो था कि सिर्फ IAS ही बनना है. इवन इफ आई गो टू सम अदर सर्विस और सम अदर जॉब, maybe I might have present there physically but not mentally 100%. तो अंदर से ये conscious decision लिया मैंने कि I will give my 100% till the last minute for civil service examination. If it doesn't happen, then I will look for the other one. लेकिन ये it depends from person to person. Everybody cannot take these kind of decisions. I was fortunate enough to have that kind of family and financial flexibility. अगर आप humble background से हो, if there is some pressure from the family to get into a job, that also works as an advantage sometimes. क्योंकि when you have some backup plan and if you are earning on your own, there won't be any added psychological pressure on you. That actually reflects in the actual exam scenario as well. So these are very personal decisions that you need to take by weighing the pros and cons, and it depends from person to person. So आप सोच के फैमिली से बात करके तब बैकअप प्लान के बारे में सोचना पड़ेगा. दैट्स व्हाट आई डिड एंड दैट वर्क फॉर मी फाइनली. और ये भी है कोचिंग के बारे में. आई टुक माय कोचिंग ड्यूरिंग माय फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट इन 2015 फॉर 7-8 मंथ्स इन हैदराबाद. उसके बाद मैं कभी कोचिंग गया नहीं, लेकिन आई यूज्ड टू अटेंड फ्यू टेस्ट सीरीज करंट अफेयर्स क्लासेस इन दिल्ली इन फ्यू कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स फॉर स्पेसिफिक पेपर्स. इफ आई फाइंड एनीवन गुड, आई यूज्ड टू गो देयर. It's not like I took some whole year long coaching anywhere else after that. तो आजकल टेक्नोलॉजी में भी मतलब सोशल मीडिया मतलब ऑनलाइन कोचिंग आ गई है. तो सो इफ यू कैन एफोर्ड दैट which is relatively economical than the offline coaching that you stay in Delhi with where there were enormous rents to be paid for stay and accommodation also, then that's fine. Like online coaching is also good. If not that, अभी actually बहुत सारे ये डिजिटल कोचिंग भी आ गए कि फ्री वीडियोस भी मिल रहा है यूट्यूब पे. So if you can find a good guide like a senior or some younger brother, elder brother who can guide you, that will also do. This exam doesn't require coaching mandatorily, but it helps to an extent. लेकिन वो हेल्प सीनियर से भी ले सकते हैं, फ्रेंड से भी ले सकते हैं. सो ये डिसीजन भी आप फाइनेंशियल बैकग्राउंड के हिसाब से लेना पड़ेगा. आपके पास टाइम भी नहीं हो सकते कभी कभी. इफ यू आर वर्किंग समवेयर एंड preparing along with the job, then you might be short of time. Then you don't have the time to go for coaching even if your finances sustain you. So all these decisions are very personal in nature, looking up to your background, your current situation and all these things. Lekin if you cannot afford coaching, never feel that you are behind the game. It's nothing like that. Until you step into the examination hall, everyone was on equal foot. So believe in yourselves. Definitely one day you'll clear this examination. I hope this sharing of my experience about my journey over the 6 years gave you some insights in understanding what this examination takes from us. Thank you for watching this video. Jai Hind.